Okay, folks, right is right and wrong is wrong, and just because somebody else doesn't do the right thing, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't. Now, that being said, this next story is on 4 stupid ass thugs, and that's exactly what they are, and I know the ramifications of the word thug, okay? And I am calling them 4 stupid ass thugs, okay, that abducted, and that's being left to question, but I think it was an abduction, tied up this white kid who was mentally challenged, okay? These 4 kids, 2 males, 2 females, both 18, all of them 18, got this white kid who was mentally challenged, took him to a home, tied him up, tortured him, berated him, and cut him, all while screaming Trump and fuck white people. Now, wrong is wrong. That absolutely was wrong. And this video basically spells out what they did. Now, these dumb asses was stupid enough to live stream this torture, okay? They provided the evidence that's going to be used against them. How goddamn dumb is that? I'm going to be honest with you. I asked a 9-year-old in my household if he was doing something wrong, would he want to have people take pictures of him while he was doing it? And he said absolutely not. I checked with his 7-year-old sister. I asked her the same thing. She said, no, that's stupid. So these 18-year-olds don't have the goddamn intelligence of a 9 or a 7-year-old kid. Okay, I'm going to play the video here from the Kelly Show, which obviously is Fox, and you know, I don't have a lot of warm and fuzzies about Fox, but on this one, their commentary got this right. Then I'm going to play a clip from the Roland Martin Show discussing the same thing, and 3 out of the 4 people, Roland Martin and 2 of his guests, got it right. The one person who didn't get it right was that bulldagger, Amber Phillips. All right, here we go.
Breaking tonight, 4 people now in custody following a disturbing video posted to Facebook Live that showed a man being held hostage and apparently tortured in Chicago. We warn you, it is disturbing.
Donald Trump, white people, what?
No. Goofy.
Yeah.
My sister took that one time. Oh, man. My sister said this not funny, y'all.
Guess what? Your sister was right, and guess what your sister should have also told you was to stop streaming that shit and get the hell out of there.
Moments will be joined by David Wohl and Richard Fowler with reaction, but first we check in with Trace Gallagher, who has the new details on the breaking news. Trace?
Megan, police believe the victim, who is mentally disabled, met a man that he knew and some others in a Chicago suburb, and that they drove him in a stolen car to the west side of Chicago, took him to a home, tied him up, taped his mouth, and began torturing him for between 24 and 48 hours. At least 30 minutes of the torture was streamed live on Facebook, and the woman who was taping acknowledges that she knows it is streaming live. During the video, which as you say is very hard to watch, they cut the man's clothing, saying they're going to get him naked and ask him to kiss the floor. Then they kick him, punch him, cut his scalp, and laugh about how much he's bleeding. Throughout the video, you can hear the 4 suspects go after Donald Trump and white people. Watch again.
Donald Trump, white people, what?
No. Goofy.
Yeah.
My sister took that one time. Oh, man. My sister said this not funny, y'all.
Later, they asked the victim to say how much he loves black people. Police are now investigating this as a possible hate crime and a possible kidnapping. They also say it could be a case of young people making stupid decisions. Here's Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's a hate crime. Those dumb-ass motherfuckers need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I don't give a damn that it happens the other way around. Wrong is wrong, and those dumb motherfuckers need to be prosecuted, and they need to do some serious time. Okay, now I know I'm probably going to get a lot of pushback on that. Hey, that's too goddamn bad. That's the way I feel about it. End of story. Okay, now if you want to take make an analogy, how did you feel when those three white boys up in Idaho grabbed one of their teammates who was also mentally challenged and anally raped him with a coat hanger? I bet you guys didn't believe that that wasn't a hate crime. And now, once everybody gets prosecuted, you know, hopefully, the four people that did this, they get the same benefit of the doubt that those two white kids got up in Idaho, where actually only one of them was actually prosecuted, and the judge gave him a slap on the wrist. I didn't agree with that. I think he should have gotten some serious time. I believe that the other two kids should have been charged and something more than actually something more than absolutely nothing being done to them. Just like I believe in this one, these kids should be prosecuted and something they should face a serious penalty. That's my opinion. If it's wrong on one side, it damn sure is wrong on the other. All right, let me continue with the clip.
It's sickening. It's sickening. You know, it makes you wonder what would make individuals treat somebody like that. You know, so I've been a cop for 28 years, and I've seen things that you shouldn't see in a lifetime. But it still amazes me how you still see things that you just shouldn't.
Officers found the victim distressed and wandering the streets of West Chicago. They say he's out of the hospital and is being interviewed by detectives, but is having a very difficult time communicating. The four suspects, including at least two females, are all 18 years old. They remain in custody. Megan.
Trace, thank you.
Now, I'm just going to throw this piece in there. You do with it what you want, but there were over 750 murders in the city of Chicago, with the large majority, okay, of them not being solved. Can somebody please explain to me how the police were able to swoop up these four individuals so quickly? Okay, the video that live streamed only went on for about 30 minutes, yet they caught these guys within 24 hours of those events. Now, I do know that there is a way to run the stuff down. Don't get me wrong. If they were able to get any kind of identifying information from the video, okay, as far as the user that was streaming it, they could have ran her down, and then in turn, once they got her, I guess ran down the other three. But 24 hours, you know, give me a break. Anyway, let's, I'm going to roll through the Fox commentary, then I'm going to jump to TV One.
Joining me now, David Wohl, who's an attorney and a Donald Trump supporter, and Richard Fowler, who's a nationally syndicated radio host and a Fox News contributor. Deeply disturbing, mentally challenged young man, tortured for a day? First of all, what kind of crimes are we looking at here, David, and do they include a hate crime, you know, increase because of the,
well, the underlying
the racial undertones and the language we heard?
Yeah, the underlying crimes, Megan, are kidnapping, torture,
assault with a deadly weapon, false imprisonment, and probably several others. Now, what I found a little bit disturbing is the cops in a press conference said they're not quite sure if this was a hate crime. It's being investigated, and that's after viewing this video. Now, Megan, rest assured, if the races were reversed and they said that, they'd be fired the next day. I think Richard would agree with that. So what's going to happen here is that they only...
No, they wouldn't have been fired the next day, so you can get off that bullshit.
...prosecute it regarding the state crimes, and they leave the hate crime enhancement out. Don't forget who's going to be the Attorney General of the United States in a couple months, Jeff Sessions. I guarantee you he takes this very seriously. This could easily turn into a federal civil rights prosecution, along with several other piggybacking federal crimes, and the hate crime would definitely be included. So they need to take this very seriously. They can't allow political correctness to dictate the prosecution here.
I don't know, Richard. You know, I mean, that's obviously a legal call. I know you're not here to play the role of legal analyst, but what do you make? I mean, a hate crime is you get an aggravation when somebody's committing the crime based on race, and in that tape we hear them say F white people.
No, I think this is a hate crime. I don't care what race you are, and that's why we have hate crimes in this law, and folks like Joe Biden have worked night and day to keep those laws. And I think, you know, so politics aside here, this video is disgusting, and I think we as a nation have really got to sit down, black, white, yellow, blue, orange, purple, and have a conversation about how we really come together, how we come together, Christians and Muslims and Jews, and all have this larger conversation about we're all American at the end of the day, and this is sickening.
Well, let me ask you something about that, because does this one act, this disgusting, awful, criminal act, is it any sort of a larger statement on who we are as a people, or are these just thugs? And not young people making stupid decisions, as we know, thugs who are torturing a man. But does it say something about us as Americans?
All right, and I call them thugs too, but it's funny that if the shoe's on the other foot, it's just young people making mistakes, but since the shoe's on this foot now, it's thugs. Okay, I agree that it's thugs, don't get me wrong, but I disagree when the shoe's on the other foot that they're not thugs as well.
Well, here's the thing. I think what this election shows us, whether you're Democrats or Republican, our nation is pretty much equally divided. Some people sit on one side, other people sit on the other, and it's really time for us to come together and you know, really have a conversation about how we work together to keep America being the great country that it is. We've only thrived when we work together. Some of our best moments are when we work together.
Me,
David, the Voting Rights Act in '65.
But you tell me, David, whether you think that people who are so depraved that they would do this to another human being, one who is mentally challenged no less, can be reached by an effort at the federal or any other level for us to come together.
Well, you know, Megan, I think you're right about that. I mean, and the other thing is, they think somehow that sort of invoking Trump is sort of their ticket to doing this, because everybody hates Trump. They see celebrities hating on Trump, and so they put his name in there, and somehow that fuels or that gives them justification. But I will say this, it's another social media problem, Megan. We see social media propelling this kind of thing. They think it's cool if it's on social media. They get their 15 minutes of fame. But the good thing is that somebody saw it on social media and apparently reported it. So to that extent, you know, it turned out well.
Well, I mean, I think to differ on that. I mean, I think if it wasn't on social media, then we wouldn't be talking about it tonight.
I know, that's right, because
Agreed.
the video is so shocking that it requires attention, and it became national news in an instant. Not an uplifting note to end the segment on, but an important story, guys.
No.
Thank you.
All right, so, and again, let me just repeat. Thugs come in all colors, white, black, and in between. Those people in that particular video, in my opinion, are thugs, just like the people up in Idaho that raped that black mentally challenged kids. They were thugs as well. Now, let's jump to the Roland Martin segment, which illustrates the same story, but there's one person on the panel that I take severe difference with. Hang on. All right, here's the Roland Martin segment, and for the most part, Roland and two of his panelists are in complete agreement about the heinousness of this situation, and they pretty much agree with the take that Fox had. But there's one person, Amber Phillips, strikes again, Everything with her is always about gayness and lesbianism and transgender, etc. She is so blinded by that ideology that she can't even call, the sky blue or, daylight or moonlight. Here we go.
4 young individuals are in police custody in connection with a Facebook Live video that showed a mentally handicapped teenager being tortured. The video shows a group of young African Americans and women cutting and slapping the bound and gagged 18-year-old who is a white male. Now, authorities said some of the group could be heard saying F Trump and F white people. The video was posted about 2 p.m. on Tuesday, viewed more than 62,000 times before being removed. Again, police said the victim's parents had reported him missing on December 31st, that he could have been held hostage for as many as 48 hours. The victim was hospitalized and later released to his parents. Authorities say he was an acquaintance of one of the 4 suspects. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says specific charges against the suspects are pending. Now, here's what's interesting. We'll go to our panel here.
Before he goes to the panel, just how goddamn stupid do you have to be to live stream the commission of a crime and then put your own face on the damn stream? Sometimes we're our own goddamn worst enemies. I honestly believe that. All right, here we go back to the story.
Sorry, I don't care what it is. I don't care if they're black. I don't care if he's white. I don't care if they were white. I don't care if he's black. You don't assault somebody. You don't beat somebody. You don't torture somebody. You don't. What? You shoot a video? You post it?
I think they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. It's heinous. It's not only heinous just to do it. It's heinous to be arrogant enough to think you can do this and post this live. You have absolutely no sense of dignity to do this to anyone. And like you, I don't care if he had a handicap, he was black or orange. It's wrong. And as a society, we have to say, this is wrong, no matter who's doing it. So I hope if they're guilty, full extent of the law.
Ralph?
And if it's true that they were, saying F white people, then they should be prosecuted as a hate crime.
As a hate crime.
Amber?
Absolutely. Now get ready for the bullshit from Amber Phillips.
I think that we should get more information about this case, actually. I think...
See, and that's what white people always do. When black people got them cold on something, a lot of the time, I can't say normally, I can't say most of the time, but I can say a lot of the time, they always say that they want to get more information, and now she's saying the same goddamn thing. This bitch is stupid. She is plain stupid. She wants to try to excuse this behavior. Fuck you.
It's important to mention, again, that while we, of course, no one should be harmed or hurt, we just had a series of stories that listed off the danger black people specifically are in under this administration. We also don't have a lot of...
She's trying to excuse this particular behavior because of other behavior. She's trying to excuse that or find a way out. Hell, you know something? I'm just going to let this play because I'm so pissed off with this bitch as far as trying to excuse this or rationalize this behavior. It's just ridiculous. I'm going to shut up until the end of this.
Examples of what justice looks like.
What does justify this behavior?
Well, I'm adding nuance to the conversation because at the same time we're talking about this, the conversation that white people are having is that this is somehow BLM's.
Okay, here's the deal. I don't give a damn if anybody white out there is trying to blame BLM. They're stupid and they're ridiculous, but what I'm not going to do is say I need to offer some nuance. If you are sitting here beating somebody and torturing somebody, that is dead wrong. I don't care if you're upset about something else happening in another part of the country. It is wrong. It is vicious. It should be called out. Period.
Not even depending on the person who's being tortured. No.
Hell no.
See, now she wants to do the same thing. I'm sorry, I had to jump in there. She wants to create a fucking double standard by saying not even depending on the person being tortured. That is fucking bullshit.
I don't care.
We're saying this as U.S. citizens with a government that has bombed.
Hold on, Amber. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Wait. One second.
Because of Syrian
Amber,
drones?
Amber, you often talk about the importance of dealing with issues, dealing with trans, dealing with LGBTQ. So you trying to tell me that if that person was trans, who was being beaten, who was being tortured, and was on a Facebook video, you would be right now arguing, I need to hear nuance?
No, I'm not saying I need to hear. I'm not. So those is being tortured, that's absolutely wrong. This young man who is being tortured is absolutely wrong. But what I'm saying is that we have to have, I think it's wrong. I would never do it. I would never do it. Do I think I want more information about what we're saying about these young kids being punished to the full extent of the law at the same time that black folks are under attack in this country? No, I can't easily make that concession for them without more information at the same time. We're talking about Dylan Roof as being self-radicalized. What I'm saying is, what does it mean to have a fuller conversation about why this is happening and what we can do as media makers as a country to think about what does it mean to keep black folks safe so that they're not treated.
That is bullshit. She's spinning, and that's all it is. She's spinning. We need to have a hell no. Okay, we didn't need to have a conversation about Dylan Roof killing those people. He was guilty, should sentence his ass to death. We need a conversation about that police officer in South Carolina that shot that man in the back. No, we didn't need a whole lot of conversation. He's guilty. He needs to be sentenced to life in prison, okay? And if it was a hate crime, which they didn't charge him with a hate crime. They just charged him with the regular, I believe, second-degree murder. He needs to go. If it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Nuance is fucking political correctness, and that is bullshit. And I apologize because I'm upset about this one, and I do apologize for the language.
They should be arrested.
I want black folks say, I want anybody else say, but what I'm not going to do, this is very simple. First of all, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. Everybody has to go through the whole legal system, but I'm going to say this here. You post a video, just like if I'm going to sit here and condemn that police officer for slamming Jacqueline Craig and her daughter to the ground, and the North Carolina officer who slammed that young girl to the ground, ain't no way in hell I'm letting them off the hook. And I don't care if the kid is white and they black. Period. You're going to go through the process. You're going to go through the system. But I'm telling you right now, from what we see, ain't no way in hell you torture somebody. Right. Period.
And also remember, I made no reference to the allegation about Donald Trump because that has absolutely nothing to do with nothing.
Ralph Chittum's full of shit, and he's gonna come in there with the holier than thou. He's not a Trump defender when he absolutely is. I had to throw that in. He should have just shut up and let the segment end.
But if they said F white people,
I don't care.
That's what elevates
I don't care. I don't care if they said F white people, F Trump. I don't care if they said F Obama, F Clinton. I don't care what they said. You do not torture somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
Folks, coming up next.
All right, so that one, that one is going to get blown up. Obviously, Fox is going to stay on it. I don't know. I didn't see anything on it from MSNBC. So I guess between Fox and News One Now, you're getting pretty much an even slant on this particular story. Folks, this is an add-on. And I have to thank Mr. Superboy, who did a video on this to pull my coattail for me to watch this segment by Don Lemon. Now, I don't know what the hell is on Don Lemon's mind, but the previous two, that's News One Now and Fox News, basically, in my opinion, called it fairly evenly, okay? Neither one of those, however, brought the parents of these four 18-year-olds into this fray. But Don Lemon, for whatever reason, did. Now, let me say this. Don Lemon, in my opinion, is a jerk. He's an asshole and he's a coon. Now, Fox did their particular segment on the Kelly Show, which is on at the same time as Don Lemon's show. But Don Lemon didn't do his particular cut until the second hour. He's got a 2-hour show, and he didn't do this particular video clip until the beginning, 10, 15 minutes into his second show. Not only did he do one segment on this, he did two. So I'm wondering what the hell was so important that Don Lemon had to do two segments on his show, which ran a total of, I believe it was, I know it was at least 17 to 18 minutes total. Now I'm going to play the clip, but again, he's going to sit up here and basically blame the parents for this behavior. And I'm going to be honest with you, in my opinion, this is just bad kids. And you could have the best parents in the world, but if the kid is just absolutely rotten, there's absolutely nothing that a parent is going to be able to do about this. Now, let me play the clip for you, and I'll make some final commentary at the end of Don Lemon's particular clip. And I'm only going to do the first portion of it. I'm not going to do that last 11, 12 minutes where he had a 4-member panel that was going back and forth on this thing.
In connection with the beating of a white teen, the suspect shouting anti-Trump slurs as the attack was broadcast on Facebook Live. Let's discuss now CNN political commentators Peter Beinart, Alice Stewart, and Matt Lewis. Also,
again, I'm going to spare you this because this got ridiculous. So hang on a second. Okay, here's the beginning of the clip that he ran.
It is a crime that Chicago police call sickening, and it is. And I think we can all agree with them on that. An 18-year-old white man beaten by 4 teenage black suspects, shouting anti-Trump slurs, the whole thing broadcast on Facebook Live. And I must warn you, this is very disturbing to watch. CNN's Rosa Flores is covering this story for us from Chicago. Rosa, it's disgusting. This disturbing video out of Chicago tonight. Tell us the latest.
Don, it really is disgusting. And according to Chicago police, they believe that this man was targeted because he has mental health challenges. They also believe that he knows at least one of the suspects and that at least initially he was with them willingly. But that obviously changed. And like Don said, we have to warn you, this video is very graphic.
Watch out, folks. Watch out. No, bro. Hey, cut this out. I'm gonna make your ass walk home. What? Boy, Donald Trump. White people, boy. No. What?
Goof. Let's go. On program. On program. You can tell from the video that the victim is white, that the suspects are black, and that they're speaking with anti-Trump type of language as well. And so the obvious question, of course, Don, is this a hate crime? Is this racially motivated? We've asked the police at this point. They're still investigating the motive.
And they said that they do believe that the victim knew the attacker. So how long was the victim with the offenders?
That's one of the things that they're also investigating, but they do believe that he was with them for 24 to 48 hours. So you still have to wonder exactly what transpired in that time, because right now we're only seeing a small window that was caught on video. Now, they do say that the offenders stole a van from a suburb, because this victim is from a suburb, not from Chicago, and they brought him to Chicago, and that initially he was with them because he knew one of them. But that obviously changed, Don.
They're in custody tonight. It's 4 of them, right?
Yes, 4 of these offenders are in custody. We're expecting charges to be filed within 24 hours. And when we see those charges, Don, we'll get a better picture of exactly what transpired here, because those charges will tell us a little more as to what happened.
Do we know how old they
or
are?
what police believe that happened. They're all 18 years old. According to police, they know each other from school. At some point, one of these suspects went to the same school as the victim, and that's how they know each other.
Who is
Now, okay, let me just stop right there, because he's going to say something that in my mind is stupid. But if they all went to the same school and they had to drive out to the suburbs to get this kid, that leads me to think that they were going to school out there in the suburbs. Okay, and if that were in fact the case, instead of them going to a school, I guess, located in Chicago, where they apparently are from, their parents had the wherewithal in order to try to get them into better schools. So that tells me that at least the parents are trying to do something. Now, this asshole is going to start talking about the parents. He doesn't know a damn thing about them.
I mean, it's unfathomable.
It's disturbing.
It's really just vile, and there's no excuse for it. How's the victim doing tonight, Rosa?
You know, the police say that they can't get into the extent of his injuries, Don, but they do say that he's highly traumatized. He's even having trouble just talking to the police about what transpired. The police say that they had trouble just talking to him because he's so traumatized.
Yeah. Well, we hope that he's going to be okay. Rosa, thank you for that awful, awful story.
You're welcome.
I'm going to bring in now senior legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin. Jeffrey, the video is difficult to watch. Your immediate reaction?
You know, I mean, we can talk about this in the legalities, but, you know, you just have to wonder, like, how can human beings be so awful? And just, you know, as you said, who raised them? What motive?
See, that who raised them bullshit jumped right back in again. But we never say that when some white kids turn around and do some devilish shit like those 3 white boys did to that black mentally challenged kid. Nobody ever brought up the who raised them card. So why are they bringing up the who raised them card here?
It's people to treat a disabled, defenseless person like this way, and you know, unfortunately in our line of work we see a lot of evil, and this just looks like evil.
And it's just dumb, stupid behavior here that's obviously, I mean, I don't know, they no home training, because no one I know who was raised by any parent would even dream of doing something like that. My mom would probably beat me worse than that kid.
Why is he staying on the parents? It confounds me. Anyway, I'm going to cut this off right here because this goes another 3 or 4 minutes, and in my opinion, it's fairly worthless. You've seen all the other video. I'm killing this right here. But again, let me just rehash. Number one, those kids are fucking evil, okay? And they deserve to get whatever sentence, because they obviously filmed their own crime. So they deserve whatever sentence they get. Now, as far as it being a hate crime is not a separate crime from what they committed. All a hate crime does, it enhances the penalties. So instead of it being charged as assault, it would be charged as assault under a hate crime statute. So it's just the one single charge. But it is going to, if charged, going to severely increase the amount of time that each one of these dumbasses is going to have to do.